Welcome to the Land Law module, a core component of your LLB course. This module is designed to provide you with a comprehensive understanding of the legal principles surrounding land ownership. We'll cover essential topics such as the nature of land rights, property transactions, and relevant legislation. This preparation is crucial, as your performance will account for 60% of your overall mark in the January exams, alongside a 2,500-word essay contributing to the remaining 40%. For instance, one of the key topics we will explore is the concept of freehold and leasehold estates in land, where you'll learn about the distinctions between owning land outright versus renting it. So what exactly is property law? It encompasses the legal framework surrounding the ownership of land and the associated rights. Property law deals with various aspects, including how land can be owned, transferred, and used. We will explore the difference between proprietary rights, rights that attach to the land itself, such as the right to use or sell it, and personal rights, which are more about individual entitlements that may not be enforceable against third parties. A landowner has proprietary rights that allow them to sell the land or lease it out. In contrast, a person who has a contract to use the land but does not own it only holds personal rights. One of the key principles of property law is the ability to use land for specific purposes. This principle is fundamental, especially when we discuss leasing properties for defined periods. The law outlines the formalities involved in transferring ownership rights, such as the requirement for written contracts. This principle emphasizes the right of property owners to exclude others from using their property, thereby protecting their interests. When you lease an apartment, the lease agreement specifies the terms of use, duration, and rental amount. This contract ensures that the landlord can legally exclude others from the property during the lease period. Understanding the distinction between personal and property rights is crucial in property law. An owner possesses proprietary rights, granting them control over their property, while a contractual licensee only has personal rights, which may not provide the same level of security. If you own a home, you have proprietary rights to sell or modify it. In contrast, if you have a friend over who is only permitted to stay for a few days, that friend holds a personal right to use the space, but this right does not extend to others, nor can it be enforced against the property owner's subsequent decisions. The definition of land is broader than just the soil itself. According to the Law of Property Act 1925, land includes the land itself, buildings, subsoil, and the airspace above it. This broad definition establishes that ownership extends vertically into the ground and upward into the sky, within reasonable limits. In Bernstein v. Skyviews 1978, the court ruled on airspace rights, confirming that a property owner has rights to the airspace above their land, but only to a height that is necessary for the ordinary use and enjoyment of the land. It's essential to differentiate between realty, which is land and buildings, and personalty, which is movable property. While this module focuses primarily on land, understanding personal property rights is also important. For instance, a house is considered realty, while a car or furniture is categorized as personalty. Knowing the distinctions helps clarify the rights and regulations applicable to each type of property. Modern land law has evolved significantly, recognizing land as a commodity in commercial transactions. The legislation from 1925 encourages the exchange of land, which has become a vital asset for securing loans, as evidenced in mortgage agreements. When purchasing a home, buyers often take out a mortgage, which allows them to borrow money against the value of the property, demonstrating the commercial nature of land ownership. Historically, common law courts recognized a limited number of rights, which sometimes led to unfair outcomes. To address these issues, the courts of chancery were established to provide equitable remedies, which are based on fairness rather than strict legal rules. Today, these jurisdictions have merged, allowing courts to handle both legal and equitable rights and interests. For instance, if a party is wrongfully denied access to a property, they might seek equitable relief from a court, even if the strict legal title does not support their claim. The principle of alienability of land has shifted significantly since 1925, allowing property to be transferred more freely. This shift encourages a dynamic property market where ownership can change hands easily, promoting economic activity. For example, a homeowner can sell their property to another individual with minimal restrictions, enhancing the fluidity of real estate transactions. Lastly, the law specifies clear rules for creating and transferring property rights. For instance, the legal title to property cannot be transferred verbally. It requires formal written documentation and registration to be valid. If I wish to transfer ownership of my house, I must do so via a formal deed and register this transfer to ensure it is legally recognized. Failure to comply with these formalities may result in the buyer only having an equitable interest in the property without legal title. Thank you for your attention. We will continue exploring these principles in our upcoming lectures. I encourage you to review the materials uploaded on the Aristotle VLE to deepen your understanding. Let's open the floor for any questions you may have.